are really sensitive to sweet scent. So, and I've got my Halloween Black Cat Glow in the Dark tumbler. Oh, I was jonesing. All right. So first, I kind of buff the nails. All right. So let's talk about what I've been watching first. I am still watching The Patient with Steve Carell. It's pretty good, but the episodes are so short and you have to wait a week to see the episodes, so it's kind of annoying. Essentially, The Patient is about a psychologist. Steve Carell's a psychologist that one of his patients goes completely off the wheels, and essentially he's been like kidnapped. Is that the word for an adult? He's been kidnapped. There's a better abducted. He's been abducted and put into this patient's basement. The patient tells him, like, you know, I don't know what else to do. I want to hurt people, blah, blah, blah. So Steve's character is chained in the basement. And what's crazy is, spoiler alert, the mom, this patient's mom, that's where they're at, the mom's house. And he's not a kid, he's an adult. The patient's mom knows about it. And she's okay with it. She's like, yeah, just help him. So, where we're at now, I think I'm on episode 6. I just finished episode 6 last night. And it's weird because, you know, he has to try to, oh, that's a mess. Not good. He has to try to somewhat reason with this unreasonable man in hopes that he will get out. And throughout the episodes, you see that, like, now he's confronted with his own problems because he has a son and a daughter of his own, and he's thinking about his relationships with them and, like, what if he never sees them again? And so at this point in the nail process, you should probably rinse your nails, but I'm not going to get up and do that, so I'm just trying to get all the dust off. They always say rinse, no soap. All right. Okay, the other show I have been catching up on week to week is, see, typically I like to binge a show, is Handmaid's Tale. If you've never watched Handmaid's Tale before, it's pretty heavy. Before I started watching it, I was like, that looks boring. That looks like a period piece from the past. But it's actually slightly into the future. It's how to wrap this up, because we're on, like, what are we on? Season 5. Then I put glue on my nail and glue on the nail I'm about to put on. And sometimes I'll put glue on a few other nails just so that they can kind of get tacky. And this is the set that Jacqueline got me. Thank you, Jacqueline. I'm super excited. So it's in the future where fertility rates have gone down. And so the elite don't want to deal with the fact that they are infertile. So instead of dealing with that and just accepting it, what they do is, this is in America, they create a government and a culture where you take with her until she brings them a child. So it's really triggering. But that's the gist of it, and it just goes through. We're on season 5, so it's been several years since this government started its takeover, and they've been lying to other countries and saying like, oh, these women want to be doing this, like they are taking one for the team, they're trying to help this country get back on its feet and be more, like make more humans. But that's not the case. So other countries don't know that this is pretty much, you know, enslavement and what's really going on. So now we're at season 5, where June is has made it to Canada, and her oldest daughter, who was taken when she first had to become the handmaid for like going to training for handmaid, she had a 3-year-old about at the time, and that child is now like a young adult. So maybe she was like 6 at the time or something. I don't know. Does the show? I don't think the show goes actual year for year. So anyway, she's like a young adult right now, or like a teen. I guess she looks about to be like 13. But since this culture is like trying to go back, they're basically using children as adults because of the fertility and stuff. So it's really bad things are happening. So anyways, they show her daughter on a big screen TV that is available to see in like Canada on the news. They show her daughter basically connected to the wealthy woman that was enslaving June. So like she's trying to get close to her daughter, and just for the sake of, she knows that June will see this. I don't know if that made any sense or not, but yeah, it broke June's heart, because that's her daughter, and now her daughter's hanging out with the lady that enslaved her. So that's where we're at with The Handmaid's Tale. Now, the last thing that I have been watching, and it took me a little while, I'm a little bit of a late bloomer on this one, because I wasn't sure if I wanted to watch it, simply because of the aesthetic. I have a thing with certain decades. And yeah, I think it's more 80s, but it still has that like icky feel to me, of like the 70s. So, but it's Dahmer. Okay, so we started the first episode, and it was a little too much for my fiance, because he's just a lot more sensitive than me. But then people at work were like, well, the first episode's kind of like the worst, so just go to the second. So we watched like half of the first, and then a week later we started the second episode. And it's intense. It is. I'm picky when it comes to like horror. I guess I mean, it creates feelings of horror, but it's also true. So it just gives it that extra, like, I don't know. I'm drawing a blank on the kid's name that plays him right now. He's in everything, but he does such a good job. It's almost worrisome how good of a job he's doing acting. And then I read a quote by him that said, like, studying for this role really scared the piss out of him. So I'm sure he's going to need some kind of, you know, re-civilization after all this. It would be interesting to research into a video about the celebrities that have lost themselves in roles, because it's almost like narc officers that go undercover. They get here's what I'll try to compare it to. If you talk with an accent for all day, and then upset for him as a child. I'm not saying you sympathize with anything he did as an adult, but I'm saying when you look at how he was parented, you know that there was something was going to go wrong with him. Like his mom was taking 26 pills a day through her whole pregnancy with him, and I'm probably with the little brother too. These were medications. They called them medications. Essentially, they were prescribed by a doctor back then, but I don't think doctors had a lot of accountability back then, so they were like her mental medications. The dad was at work all the time, and whatever, he did not really give a crap. I mean, typical, a lot of the 80s dad fathering was like this. Not all. And she would just be at home taking her pills, and Jeffrey actually found her incapacitated and had to call the police or the ambulance when he was a small child. And I think he came home from school, the baby was just crying in the playpen, and he went in and his mom was incapacitated. So I'm sure that was scary. Him and his dad, he did take an interest, like a lot of these types took an interest in animals. Not a good interest. So him and his dad would pick up animals on the side of the road and inspect them and take them into the basement or garage and take them apart. So that I guess his dad thought that they were bonding, and maybe at one point it was something a little, I don't know. I mean, some kids love science and anatomy, and these were roadkill animals, so they weren't just doing it for this purpose. So I don't really know what to say about all that. But clearly in this case, it morphed into something really unhealthy. The most unhealthy you could think of. So your heart hurts for that there was going to be a bad outcome, and that his parents had a huge impact on, he says, he's I think I was born this way. Maybe he was, but could it have been curbed with, better parenting, with more attentive parenting, with mental health, care, which was that a thing back then? Because I know when I was little, nobody gave a rat's ass. And that was even later, so I don't know. And then I'm about to watch what they say is the saddest episode, so I might skip it. But you do see a little bit of the you don't really get a lot of the victims' life stories, but the one I'm about to watch is, they say, the saddest, and it's when he takes home a deaf guy. And the episode just started, and they were dancing at the club, and I was like, I don't think I can watch this one, so I'm on pause right now. I might skip that whole episode. My teenager watched it. I don't know if she finished it, but she's ahead of me on the series. And I texted her the other night because she had a friend over, and I was already in bed, because I go to bed at the butt crack of dusk. And I mean, I'm not asleep, but I'm in my bed trying to get the baby to sleep and just trying to have the day be over so I can play on my phone or watch ASMR or whatever. So it was what time was it? Maybe 9. And I said, did your friend leave? And she said, yeah. And I said, did you go lock the door? And she goes, Mom, can you please do it? I'm scared. I've been watching Dahmer. I was like, oh my God. Okay, I'll go do it. 'Cause I'm really not scared of much. Scared isn't the word. I'm hypervigilant, which is way worse, because you're always, I guess I'm always so scared. I'm always watching true crime. It's horrible to watch true crime. You're a horrible person if you watch true crime. And all the true crime YouTubers, and they're like, oh, they're horrible people because they like they're I don't know what the word is, but like they were talking about Bailey Sarian and how she does an episode and she just like she'll giggle about something or whatever, and I'm like, maybe they have a valid point, but I've never seen Bailey giggle at the victim. It's like she's talking about the perpetrator and what a loser they are, like before she gets to like the main event that they did. She's like, so this guy would go do this and hit on these, and like, okay, what a loser. That's what I see her. I don't see her. I don't know how to feel about that because I'm wired to and I take long breaks, but I'm wired in that somebody was talking about it, when you're wired in that fight or flight and survival modes, like trauma, that watching true crime, it just kind of puts that fight or flight, it just gives it something to toy with, so it actually alleviates some of your constant, I don't know how to explain any of this. Let me know if you would think any of that resonates with you. Okay, this is gonna be a long video, sorry guys. Now, the books I've been reading. So speaking of Handmaid's Tale, the main character, Elizabeth Moss, is supposed to be in a movie about this book. I don't know when. I tried to find out when, and I just couldn't figure it out. But this was recommended on Mauve, MAUV ASMR. I'm sure a lot of you guys follow Mauve, but if you don't, do, because she does like tarot stuff, book recommendations. She's even got like a few perfume videos. The Neighborhood Gossip. Those ones are good. Okay, so the book is Mrs. March. And I think it's supposed to be in like the 50s maybe, which is not my go-to. I don't really read historical fiction. It's almost like, I think she described it as like Hitchcock almost feeling, and that made sense. But it's about this lady, her husband is an author, and he wrote a book recently, and she had not read the book yet, but it got really popular, so people were talking about it, they were buzzing about it, and she went shopping one day, and the lady was like, oh, have you read your husband's book yet, George? She's like, no, I haven't. And the lady's like, well, the main character, isn't that supposed to be you? And her heart just sinks. She's like, excuse me, because to the best of her knowledge, the main character is like a whore that nobody wants to be with. So she starts freaking out. And she's like, are you kidding? So everybody thinks that he based that character on me. Kind of understandable, right? And because that's kind of understandable, you're just like lured into this process, this brain process that she goes through, this paranoia that she goes through, trying to figure out if this main character was based on her, and she straight up asks him, and he's like, no, not necessarily, that's his answer. He's like, she's based on just like a lot of people. So it's her cycling into complete paranoia, and then she starts to think, what is this man capable of? Do I even know this man? And she starts to like investigate him. I don't know, it's pretty good. I did the audio, and it, you know, I recommend the audio if you can get it and you like to listen, you know, in the car. Some books I can't do audio on, but that one was a good audio. is a new wife and his teenagers. So it's a husband with some kind of prestigious job where he has to go to Australia. The younger wife, and then his two teenagers who kind of hate the young wife, right? Because she's like the young stepmom. They go to Australia and they are there for their dad's business trip, so they're super bored. They're like, Dad, can we go do something that's fun? So he takes them out for the day, and they're like, okay, that's still boring. And some guys overhear them say that they're still bored, and they were like, well, the island over there has more wildlife if they want to see that. And so the dad like